My degree is in natural resources management, which is a little more broad-based than what a forestry degree is. Forestry, you're focusing on the trees, and you get much more involved in the economic aspects of it. My natural resources background exposed me to a lot more to do with wildlife and soils and forest ecology. Forestry programs are changing since now that the big move is into ecological-based management. So right out of college, you wouldn't get a job in our forestry office, no. I had worked for 2 years with that consulting forester, just my senior year in college and for a year out after I had graduated. I worked with him for a year and had a basic set of forestry skills. You have to be either licensed or certified in the 3 local states that we, as a forester, that we work in. You need to have some experience in timber inventory and timber cruising and timber marking and forest ecology. When I was in high school, I had a little firewood business. I had a 4-wheel drive truck and a chainsaw, and I went around and cut dead wood and processed it for firewood. And I did that through high school, most of high school, from the time I was 16. When I graduated from high school, I went to work. My family had a farm that they had just before I was born, they had, my grandparents sold off all their livestock and got into the excavating business. So I went to work for the family excavating business and got a little more heavily into firewood and cut some saw timber as well. Did a little bit of logging. When I turned 30 years old, a couple of my cousins were getting ready to graduate from high school, and I said, "Boy, you guys should go to college." I said, "I never went. You know, I wish I had gone." And one of them said, "Well, why don't you go?" So I did, and I was a freshman at 31 years old. Didn't know what I wanted to do when I started. Was going to be a marine biologist. Started at the University of Connecticut in the Natural Resources Management program, and just kept following. Trees just kept popping up, and eventually I graduated with a Bachelor of Science degree in Natural Resources Management, and I worked for a consulting forester for 2 years, for my senior year in college and a year afterwards, and then from there I left and came to work for the company I work for now. My day starts pretty much, I get up at 5 in the morning. The phone usually starts ringing sometime between 5:30 and 6. I'm scheduling trucks and my harvesters. I'm working on maybe meeting with a client that day. I'm in the office usually between 7 and 7:30. Take care of any phone calls that I may have to take care of there, or any paperwork. I'm out of the office usually within an hour, and then I'm out in the field again, either checking on a job site, meeting with a client, or preparing some type of timber harvest on a client's property or on one of our company's properties. So I'm usually only in the office an hour or more a day, unless we have poor weather. You try to schedule your office work when it's raining and your field work when it's better weather. Often if we're doing some type of timber harvesting for a client, we may need permits either from the state or the town that we're working in. If we have to do any type of wetland crossings or working within wetland buffers, we often need wetlands permits in the state of Connecticut. To writing management plans, to just keeping records up to date for timber harvests we have underway. Usually I'm headed home by 4 or 4:30. Usually it's from a wood lot, from a client's property, and I'm headed home by 4 or 4:30, and usually I spend the rest of the evening. If it's a calm evening, I'll have half a dozen phone calls to either make or will come into me. Managing on an economic basis is a lot of people's objectives, and it certainly is one of our company's objectives. We can't own all this land and pay taxes on it without getting some type of economic return on it. But what you're looking at is trees don't grow like corn. You're talking 80 to 100 years or more with hardwood trees. So you need to look at what tree is going to be worth taking out now versus what tree you want to grow for 20 more years. And I often equate it to your stock portfolio. You want to continue to grow your blue chip gaining stocks, keep putting value into those. You want to remove the stocks that may be costing you money or are breaking even, and I look at the nutrients and water that's in the soil as your cash. When you remove a tree, you've lessened the competition to its neighbor, so the nutrients and water that were being used by that tree you've removed are now your cash that you're putting back into this other stock that you have growing right next to it.